Hey guys and girls, how's it going? And welcome back to another episode of Hexit 2 Alpha with myself, Lewis. I'll be brilliant. Have yourself a great day. As always, so we're in a brand new world. The Alpha 2 has been released now, which is great. And believe me when I say there has been some vast improvements on the playstyle and, the current state of the Hexit Alpha. A lot of your voices have been heard, which is great. You put your opinions across. I'm sure Iskandar has read through all of the bits and bobs, and he's, come up with some good decisions on how to make the pack a more pleasant place. And it definitely is. So let me read through some of the changes that have come into place. And, oh my god, I'm going to get spiked. Just managed to get off that one. Yeah, let me go through some of the changes that have been put into place. So a few mods have been added, a few things have been removed. So Ender.io has been removed, Elemental Creepers has been removed, Floating Ruins has been removed. To be honest, Floating Ruins does sound kind of cool, but it was only, it was just a ruin, it's just a floating thing with like one spawner and a chest in it. It wasn't really that great. And Real World Generation has gone, but it's possibly temporary. Some of the mods that have been added, well, we have ourselves a bit of Project Zulu, so we have the animals back, which is great. That guy just attacked me. What did I do to you? I didn't think rhinos were meant to attack like that. Yeah, we've got that added in. We have Botania added in, so we have the flowers and all that stuff. We have Bibliocraft, Battle Towers. Those two are basically meant to be in the original anyway. They just kind of didn't get added in, so they're always going to go in. We have Chocolate Quest, which is great, so we have all of the buildings added in. Now, you have to bear in mind that Chocolate Quest is currently very much a beta alpha type mod at the minute. A lot of the stuff is not implemented into it, and it's very buggy. It's to be honest, it's on the provisional panel, and it would very nice to be great to have it added in, but it's really more down on the actual developer themselves whether it gets fully updated and is able to get added as a stable release. That's more down to that. Extra tick for the Tinker's Construct stuff, Metallurgy for a bit of variation in ores. Millionaire has been added back in now, which is great. So you can now add it back in. It was never in the first place. Millionaire has now been added in, so you can go ahead and you can found your own city and you can do quests for your villagers and help improve your village and whatnot. So there's that one in. We also have primitive mobs, which is good. Random things has been added back in, which is great. So we now have the Spectre stuff, and we can have our own little pocket dimensions. I really like the idea of that. And Wild Caves, which is obviously a Hexit original, which adds in a little bit of life to the caves, which is great. Few changes, a lot more spawning. So a lot more spawning as far as the structures go. You're going to see tons more of those. The loot has been rebalanced again, which is great. So in the previous 2 episodes, we wasn't finding a great deal of stuff, and you can see that from looting these, I've already found myself a Rune of Fire from Botania. So I really like the idea of adding in the modded grinded items. Pretty much, you'd have to go through the grind to get the flowers, to get the things, to get the mana, to get the Rune of Fire. It's a nice, it's a nice touch being able to add those things and like that. I think Farmcraft definitely needs a bit of that, so adding in like Farmcraft items and bits and bobs. I know you obviously have them inside the spider trees, but the items you get added in there are pretty kind of, well, they're not great, are they? Like a mundane ring and whatnot. It'd be nice to see. Like, get yourself find a really rare Sword of the Zephyr or something. Oh, that would be a good find. We also have Poor Ores has been changed considerably now, so instead of finding bazillion Poor Ores, this guy's coming for a fight, isn't it? Come here. Yeah, instead of having the mass amount of poor ores now, you actually find 75% regular ores with 25% poor ores. So that's definitely a large improvement. And, water breathing. What have I got water breathing for? Is it this guy? Yeah, it is. There we go. Webbing Gold Ring of Fresh Air. Very nice. So if none of you have any idea what it's the Traveller Merchant. If none of you have any idea what the Artifacts mod is, there we go. It basically allows for random generation of those structures I was in a second ago, and with those you can find random artifacts. So you can find rings and swords and such, and they all also have random affixes attached to them. So it's very rare that you'll find the same one, but there are the same ones around. What has he got? Raw pork chop for emeralds. Not great, my friend, not great, but it's a start. What is dying? Something's dying around here. I can hear it. Die. I think you was in that tree just then, wasn't you? Was you in that tree? No? I don't even know what you were doing. But we have got our first big castle over here, which is great. So I think we're going to make our way in there. I don't really know if I'm ready to be taking on any of the stuff from Chocolate Quest, because some of the mages and whatnot that you get inside those towers are pretty scary, so we'll give it a go. But we did start, which is great, with an ancient sword from the Fossils and Archaeology, and we started with a compact crossbow with a few arrows. So we've got a little bit of gear off the bat, which allows us to get more into the action, which is very nice indeed, I must admit. So you can see that Hexit is starting to come along. You know, it's a lot different than the first alpha that we showed off. The world is looking a lot more vibrant, which is great. I think I would still swap out... I think if I was to do a series now, I'd probably still swap out Biomes of Plenty for Extra Biomes XL. I think it just looks a little bit nicer. But yeah, we've got a good groundwork for it. I think that's the main way to look at it. It's... Oh, there's a little bug there. Look at that little guy. What is that? Who are you? It's a little small beetle. Yeah, you know, the canvas is made. Now it's time to do the painting. So we have the original pack down pretty much. It feels very much like the original Hexit, bar a few mods. But hey, some of them haven't updated. There's nothing that can be done about that. But the canvas is there, and now the you know, now you just need to paint on all the nice swirly circles and whatnot. So it's going to take a bit of time to refine it. I think there's still a few bits that need touching up. Personally, I think the underground still needs a bit more work. It's great having all of the caving systems there and having them look a little bit nicer, but there's still really no reason to go underground, except for maybe a few bits of wall. Oh my god, there's an invisible guy there. Except for a few bits of wall finding, but really I don't really want to be mining that much. So one thing I did in my version is I added in, and this is just, you know, this is just an example, but I added in the mod that gives you heart crystals underground, a lot like Terraria. So it gives you a bit of a reason to go under there and actually do a little bit of exploring, because you can find heart crystals that give you a permanent heart increase. I really like the idea of that. I thought that was pretty cool. So yes. Alright, let's see if we can take this guy out. This stone sword is pretty naff, so we're going to go with the ancient sword. Oh, here we go. A haunted tool. Gives us a few bits and bobs. Let's see what we can get ourselves in here. I very much doubt I'm going to be able to pull this off, but we're going to try nonetheless. We might be able to get some good bits. Oh, no, polar bear. Yeah, I don't think we're there just yet. Oh, hello. Oh my lord, we're getting swamped by guys. Oh, what in the world was that? Something bad just happened. Can I make an escape? One rogue arrow is gonna finish me right now. Oh, I think we can do it, by the way. I think we can do this. Oh, this is not looking good. Break! Oh my god, they're right behind me! Run away! Run away! Yeah, we're probably not ready to be doing those just yet. So maybe we should explore the cave, see if we can find some bits down there. Let's have a little bite to eat. Get a bit of the old HP regeneration on the go. I would like to find myself a millionaire village, because they have houses and things. Oh, that speak of the devil. They have houses that we can use, and we might be able to find a little farmy type area. Let's see what this guy's up to. What's he called? Bosk Probeten. Yes. Population 1. Here we go. I'll be right there, Seminole. Was that Tarbraxysyntoma? Well, there is, I know it has language packs, that's probably what it is. So, he buys bread and gives meats, as well as feta, pink wool, black wool, grey wool, and Malavisio wine. Well. So, we can do jobs for these guys and get bits off of them, which is very cool. But let's keep exploring, see what we can find, see if we can get ourselves some good dungeon areas. I would like to find a small town if possible, and they're going to be a little bit harder to find, but that's fine. We might even go underground. If I find a nice little mine, we might make our way down there, see how the portals is looking now that it's been revamped a little bit. And I would like to get myself some armor, because we're definitely going to need some of that if we're going to be doing that. Let's have a scrap of meat. Very nice. But yeah, we've got a decent, you know, it's starting to look nice now, which is great. There's obviously going to be some tweaking that needs done. I think the loot still could be improved upon. There is the custom ruins getting added in, which is great. So in my report that I sent off, I asked that maybe it'd be worth making custom ruins, a lot like Iskandar did in the... Oh man, those guys are so loud. Maybe like he didn't crash landing. It looks like he is going to do that. He was a little bit put off at first, but I think he is going to be doing that, which is great because, you know, he's had a lot of past experience in that, and I'd like to see that moved over to Hexxit. It's going to add a real nice touch to it. It's going to be brilliant. And what else needs improving? I think the adventure side is getting there, which is good. The combat needs some work. I think a lot of it is focused towards magic at the minute. It'd be nice to see some more, you know, the big old swords and things. It'd be nice to see a little bit of that given a little bit of love. But overall, it is definitely coming along nicely, which I'm very much pleased with. I don't know if we actually went into these ones. Have we been into these ones? We might have. Let's see if the door's open. It's a little bit hard to tell because I haven't got a map. Yeah, we have been into this one. Alright, we'll keep going this way, I think. See what we can find over here. I am starting to run out of food. Oh, no, I got steak. That's good. Yummy. So maybe we should get like a housemaid or something like that so that we can survive. There are some extreme explosions going on around it, and I don't know what they are. There is something going down, and I don't know what it is. Hello, Mr. Cows. I would actually quite like your meats, if you wouldn't mind. There we go. Good stuff. From a bug perspective, there hasn't actually been that many bugs. I haven't found that many bugs, which is quite nice. The only thing that needs a little bit of touching up, I think, is the floral generation. So Botania's great, but I think the flowers definitely need to be toned down a little bit. My performance has definitely taken a huge hit, and that's going to happen with wild generation. There really is not much you can do about that, unfortunately. You can use fastcraft and things like that to make your life a little bit easier, but it's definitely taken a bit of a hit. So I've gone from a general 250 frames to about 70 to 90, so it's pretty, it's a pretty big amount, but that is going to happen. I think with reducing the amount of flower spawns for all of the particle effects, things like the you can actually turn down like the shrub stuff for Balms of Plenty and whatnot if you're going to keep that, so you can turn all that down. I think that's going to be one thing that needs to be altered a little bit, as well as I've noticed there's a lot of ocean. So if you spawn next to an ocean, there's a real big increase in Doom-like dungeons. You can kind of see them all over the place. I think those need to be toned down just a tad, because obviously they have a lot of spawners, a lot of mobs, you know, it all adds up. So that's one thing. It's just trying to find that sweet spot, you know, and those things take time. That's what we're here for, to test it, to say, you know, give a bit of feedback on what needs toning down a little bit. I really like the idea that we have all of these awesome areas to explore now, which is great. You know, the loot's been worked on, which is awesome. Just needs a little bit of a little bit of tightening up, and that takes time. It's not a fast process. As well as working on a few other bits, you know, I think we still need a little bit of love for the melee class, as I would put it, you know, the rogues and things. What in God's name is that? Oh, yeah, we're not going to be able to go in there just yet. I think we're going to get our bums handed to us. Let's make our way over to this roguelike dungeon, see if there's any loot in the top. What is that? Something's like a... You can hear it. I don't even know what that is. Something's going down, and I don't like it. I feel like it might be coming my way. Yeah, let's make our way in here. We'll lay our bed down and get a good night's sleep. Maybe we'll find a little bit of loot, which is always very handy. Never going to say no to loot. Let's make our way in here. I can see some of the cool Natura trees over there as well. Can we actually even... Is it even got a roof? I don't think it's even got a roof. Well, let's at least get our bed down. Try and get a good night's sleep. Here we go. You gonna let me in? There we go. Good stuff. I like. The question I'm going to ask for today's episode as well, because we've been having the questions per day on the stuff. It seems a little bit of you kind of got confused with my last one. I asked what your favourite kind of memory in Hexit was. I kind of actually meant what your favourite experience was, not the experience you had with the series. Which is fine, you know, I enjoyed having all of the comments come in. A lot of it was very helpful. But I would like to know what you would add to Hexit. What would you add to Hexit to make it better? So if you've played the original, what would you improve upon? Would you add more funky swords and weapons? Would you add more magic? Would you add more mobs? Would you add more structures? Bear in mind, Hexit, the original, had a lot of structures, so you know, that's one thing. I had a lot of custom ruins files and things, so that was one thing. But yeah, what would you like to see improved? Because now that we have the canvas for Hexit down, you know, it's starting to look better. It just now needs improving upon, doesn't it? Because it's all well and good making a pack that's kind of almost like a copy. I wouldn't call this a copy by any stretch of the imagination, though. There's a lot of new stuff in there. But if you was to define it like that, what would, you know, you need to improve on it once you then. So the main things about Hexit I would class would be the RPG elements of it, which were great. So exploring, dungeon looting, fighting monsters and such. I think those are the main areas that need improving upon. Maybe some more melee stuff. I know I keep going to melee, but it does feel a little underappreciated at the minute. So I think stuff around that genre would be very nice. And I really need some torches. I should have put down a furnace. Alright, let's get out this guy. I think this is one of those Doom-like dungeons, which is kind of worrying because with Lycanites mobs, you do get them spawning in the Doom-like dungeons. But I've had a look around the Doom-like dungeons, and they're not that great, so I'm not expecting to find that much. It generally is just a bunch of rooms, but we might be able to find a little bit of loot. It doesn't look like much has spawned in it yet, which is very good. I definitely wouldn't say no to a nice diamond chest plate. I'll tell you that right now. Hello, hello, hello. Let's have a nibble on this. We'll get rid of those stone bricks. There we go. Good stuff. Alright, here we go. Loot chest inbound. Oh, that scallywag just despawned. I'm definitely a fan of that. Let's get rid of some of these books because I'm probably not going to need those. Was it materials and new journal? Yeah, I don't need those. Get a little bit of gear on. Good stuff. Cool beans. Alright, well I think we found a nice place to explore. I need to get myself some torches, which is going to help out vastly. Let's put you down. There we go. Yeah, we're going to need to get ourselves some torches so that we can explore this place. But I think we're going to be able to find our first decent bits of loot for starting off. And then maybe we can go and check out some of the chocolate quest buildings once we're a little bit well off, because they, you know, you get swamped with guys whenever you go into those, so that's going to be a thing. But yeah, I thought I'd give you a little look at the Alpha 2, and you know, you have to agree it is definitely starting to look a lot better. What is that bat doing, and why is he wearing makeup? Oh, it's a rabid bat. There we go. Oh, there's a big battle tower over that way as well. He's not really doing a great deal, is he? He's just kind of flying around doing his thing. Is he going to attack me? He looks kind of, he looks like he's wearing makeup. I love it. But yeah, you have to admit, it's definitely starting to look a lot better. You know, the groundwork is there for a decent pack now. Now it's time to start improving on the main concept of Hexit and getting some decent stuff down. A little bit of tweaking here and there. You know, generation, I think, needs to be tweaked a little bit. Flowers and things need to be worked on a tad. There is actually, it's very hard with Botania and Barms of Plenty because it actually changes the generation of flowers. So if you load up a world that's a regular world and then you load up a bop world, you'll actually find that the flower spread is vastly increased on a bop world. It's just because of the way that the Biomes of Plenty calls out the what do you call it, biome decoration thing. That's kind of just, it's just the way it works. So yeah, I think that needs to be tweaked just a tad to bring up performance a tad, because I am seeing like a huge dip. But yeah, you have to bear in mind that's going to be a thing, isn't it? You know, you're adding in a lot of structures, a lot more things, a lot more bits and bobs here and there. It's going to take up more space, so there's not really too much you can do about that. Oh, and there's a king slime somewhere. Loving it. Alright guys, well that's going to be it for today's episode. Don't forget to drop your recommendations and whatnot in the comment section. I would like to know... Oh my god, they're attacking me now. I would like to know what you'd like to see added to Hexit to make it better. Oh my god, I'm going to hide underwater. I'm getting eaten by rabid bats. Yeah, what would you improve upon the original Hexit, bearing in mind all the original stuff that was in there? And yeah, drop that in the comment section, just so I can get an idea of what you think should be improved upon, rather than what I think should be improved upon. Remember, I'm one person out of many people, so majority vote is generally the best way to go. Cool beans. Alright guys, have yourself a great day, have a good one as always, and goodbye.